Hello, my friend. Come in. Welcome to the Curate study. Have a seat. I'm glad you're here because I wanted to talk to somebody about what's going on at the moment. I wanted to talk to you about this crisis because, to be honest, it is a crisis. Let's name it for what it is. Our Prime Minister has pointed out this is the worst health threat in a generation. None of us have experienced anything like this before. In a very real sense, we're off the map. This virus poses a real danger to many of the most vulnerable people, not just in our country, but around the world. And the updates from local and national government, in our case, the Church of England, are coming out so fast it's hard to keep track. The awful truth is that families are going to lose loved ones to this pandemic. And what's even worse is an event like this has been predicted for decades, and now it's arrived, and it seems we're simply not prepared. Now, we can't change where we find ourselves, but we can change what happens from now on. Now, I know for many of you Christians who go to church, it will seem as though your community life is unraveling. In our mission community, even before services had been stopped, our Lent course had been cancelled, we'd stopped sharing the peace, we'd stopped taking the common cup together. And this just adds to a sense of destabilization because tradition and ritual play a huge part of our faith lives and have done for centuries. Now, I'm sure you realize that your leadership teams, your church wardens or PCCs are doing their best to ensure the welfare of the most vulnerable members of their congregations and their communities. And you need to try and be patient with them as they make decisions about events on a day-to-day basis, often with very little information. However, as this situation develops, maybe we could consider this. Things like services and meetings are important, but they're not the most important business we have. They are church business. We are part of something bigger. Because you see, we are on God's business. And even now all the services are cancelled, God's business goes on. In fact, it's more important than ever. We don't stop being Christians just because the business of the church has been disrupted. God's love for us and his world has not diminished. Crises have happened before and they will happen again. And history shows us when crises do occur, we Christians dig in for the real work. We will need to pray like we have probably never prayed before. And we will need to serve our communities in new and creative ways. So what can we do? Well, to be honest, I can't give you an exact idea how things are going to play out in the coming weeks and months, but here are a few of my thoughts. This virus reminds us of our shared humanity with all of God's people. It doesn't respect national boundaries, skin colour, gender, sexuality, class or religion. We are truly all in this together. It also reminds us that we are not immortal. Life is a fragile and wonderful gift we should not take for granted. And we are not all powerful. This tiny organism is wreaking havoc around the globe, and for all our ingenuity and science, at the moment at least, we seem powerless to stop it. People, of course, will be asking, where is God in this disaster? And that is an absolutely valid question. Well, one answer might be, we, his church, are his eyes and ears, his hands and his feet. He is right here with us, doing his work. For now, we can start small in our own communities, ring our elderly neighbours regularly to make they're okay, help out that family whose breadwinner will have to work extra hours due to staff shortages, collect provisions for someone who has to self-isolate, find creative ways to help the self-employed in our community who face financial hardship. Give what we have to spare, and sometimes that we do not. And do not give in to fear. We can be a face of love and compassion and hope. Eventually, some sort of normal service will resume. It's not clear how long that will take, but the disease will reduce. In all likelihood, a vaccine will be developed, and life will start to look more like it used to. The challenge for us all, then, will not be to not forget what we felt right now. If we hold on to this feeling and channel it, when this is over, we can vow to change the world. What if this event became known in history as the year that the human race woke up? What if this event helped us to understand what it felt like to be frightened and helpless in the face of something we cannot control, an experience so many millions around the globe live with most of their lives? And we vowed to make it stop, not just here, but everywhere. Around the globe, every day, thousands die from diseases and conditions for which cheap and simple cures exist. And much of the world turns a blind eye because it's happening somewhere else. Well, not today. Today, we are all vulnerable to this pandemic. For now, my friend, don't feel embarrassed if you're afraid. Don't feel embarrassed to ask for help. Keep in touch with each other. Keep loving each other. And know that God holds you in the palm of his hand. See you soon. God bless you.